The endocrine system coordinates functioning between different organs through hormones, which are chemicals released into the bloodstream from specific types of cells within endocrine, ductless, glands. Once in circulation, hormones affect function of the target tissues, which may be another endocrine gland or an end organ. Some hormones exert an effect on cells of the organ from which they were released, paracrine effect, some even on the same cell type, autocrine effect. Structure of the endocrine system. Endocrine glands, which produce hormones, do not have ducts. Endo means within, and crine means to secrete. There are 13 major glands that make up the endocrine system.
1. Pituitary gland, divided into 2 lobes, lies in the base of the skull in a portion of sphenoid bone and consists of an anterior lobe, adenohypophysis, and a posterior lobe, neurohypophysis. Superiorly, the pituitary gland is covered by diaphragma celli, or cellar diaphragm.
1. Pineal gland is a very small endocrine gland, also known as the pineal body. It is located in the central portion of the brain. 1. Thyroid gland. The butterfly-shaped thyroid gland lies on either side of the larynx, just below the thyroid cartilage.
For parathyroid glands, the 4 parathyroid glands, each of which is about the size of a grain of rice, are embedded in the posterior surface of the thyroid gland. 1. Thymus is located near the midline in the anterior portion of the thoracic cavity. It is posterior to, behind, the sternum and slightly superior to, above, the heart.
1. Pancreas, pancreatic islets, is a feather-shaped organ located posterior to the stomach that functions as part of both the digestive and the endocrine systems.
2. Adrenal glands, which are also known as the suprarenals, are so named because they are located with one on top of each kidney. Each of these glands consists of an outer portion, known as the adrenal cortex, and the middle portion, which is the adrenal medulla. 2. Gonads, either a pair of ovaries in females or a pair of testicles in males. The male sex glands are located behind the penis in a pouch of skin called the scrotum. The female gonads or the ovaries are a pair of reproductive glands. They are located in the pelvis, one on each side of the uterus. Physiology. The primary function of the endocrine system to produce hormones that work together to maintain homeostasis. Homeostasis is the processes through which the body maintains a constant internal environment. Hormones are chemical messengers that are secreted by endocrine glands directly into the bloodstream. This enables them to reach cells and organs throughout the body. Each hormone has specialized functions in regulating the activities of specific cells, organs, or both.
Characteristics of hormones. 1. They maintain the constancy of the internal environment, which affect the water and electrolyte balance, the concentration of substances in the blood, glucose or calcium, and the metabolic rate. 2. Regulate cell metabolism, respiration, reproduction, and nervous activity.
3. They influence the growth, development, and aging of the organism, as well as the responses of stress, hormonal alterations, and infections. 4. Some have strictly local action, as happens with the hormone secreted by the pituitary. Others, on the contrary, can affect the metabolism of various cells.
Functions of the endocrine system. The pituitary gland. The primary function of the pituitary gland is to secrete hormones that control the activity of other endocrine glands. The pituitary gland acts in response to stimuli from neurohormones secreted by the hypothalamus.
The hormones of the pituitary gland. 1. Follicle-stimulating hormone, FSH, controls the production of eggs and sperm. 2. Luteinizing hormone, LH, controls estrogen and testosterone production as well as ovulation. 3. Oxytocin, helps with lactation, childbirth, and mother-child bonding. 4. Prolactin, promotes breast milk production.
The pineal gland. The secretions of the pineal gland influence the sleep-wake-fullness cycle.
These secretions include, the hormone melatonin influences the sleep-wakefulness portions of the circadian cycle. The term circadian cycle refers to the biological functions that occur within a 24-hour period.
The thyroid gland. One of the primary functions of the thyroid gland is to regulate the body's metabolism. Thyroid secretions also influence growth and the functioning of the nervous system.
The two primary thyroid hormones regulate the rate of metabolism and affect the growth and rate of function of many other body systems. They are
thyroxine, triiodothyronine.
The rate of secretion of these two hormones is controlled by the thyroid-stimulating hormone. The parathyroid glands. The primary function of the parathyroid glands is to regulate calcium levels throughout the body. These calcium levels are important to the smooth functioning of the muscular and nervous systems. The secretions of the parathyroid glands include the parathyroid hormone, PTH, which works with the hormone calcitonin that is secreted by the thyroid gland. Together, they regulate the calcium levels in the blood and tissues. The thymus. The thymus functions as part of the endocrine system by secreting a hormone that functions as part of the immune system.
The secretions of the thymus include thymosin, which plays an important part in the immune system by stimulating the maturation of lymphocytes into T cells.
The pancreas. The endocrine functions of these pancreatic islets are the control of blood sugar levels and glucose metabolism throughout the body. The secretions of the pancreatic islets include glucose, also known as blood sugar, which is the basic form of energy used by the body. Glucagon is the hormone secreted by the alpha cells of the pancreatic islets in response to low levels of glucose in the bloodstream. Glucagon increases the glucose level by stimulating the liver to convert glycogen into glucose for release into the bloodstream.
Insulin is the hormone secreted by the beta cells of the pancreatic islets in response to high levels of glucose in the bloodstream. Insulin functions in two ways.
1. When energy is needed, insulin allows glucose to enter the cells to be used as this energy. 2. When additional glucose is not needed, insulin stimulates the liver to convert glucose into glycogen for storage. The adrenal glands. One of the primary functions of the adrenal glands is to control electrolyte levels within the body. Other important functions of the adrenal glands include helping regulate metabolism and interacting with the sympathetic nervous system in response to stress. Secretions of the adrenal cortex. 1. Androgens are sex hormones secreted by the gonads, the adrenal cortex, and fat cells. See later section on the gonads. 2. Corticosteroids are the steroid hormones produced by the adrenal cortex. The same term describes synthetically produced equivalents that are administered as medications. Examples: aldosterone, cortisol. Secretions of the adrenal medulla. 1. Epinephrine, also known as adrenaline, stimulates the sympathetic nervous system in response to physical injury or to mental stress such as fear. 2. Norepinephrine is both a hormone and a neurohormone. It is released as a hormone by the adrenal medulla and as a neurohormone by the sympathetic nervous system.
The gonads. The gonads secrete the hormones that are responsible for the development and maintenance of the secondary sex characteristics that develop during puberty. Secondary sex characteristics refers to features that distinguish the two sexes, but are not directly related to reproduction.
Examples: estrogen, progesterone, gonadotropin, androgens, testosterone.